Let me tell you about Mufasa and how he came into my world. I was on the internet. I saw an ad for a free German Shepherd dog labeled reactive or aggressive. I noticed in this ad that all the pictures of this dog were taken from a very far distance away. Settle down. The photos of this dog were taken from a very far distance. You're fine. Yeah, you're okay. Settle down. They're just moving. My puppies moving. They're over there in the crate. And there's another one there, and they want to. But you're not strong enough to play yet. Okay, so take it easy. So all the pictures of this dog were from very far away. I was planning a camping trip with my other dogs. I looked at the ad and I just started asking more questions. The answers to these questions that I had, hello, I know you're telling them the story too. The answers I got in regards to the questions that I was asking weren't matching up. I took the initiative and zoomed in on the photographs of this dog and realized very quickly that there was a skin irritation as well as he was super thin. How thin I couldn't really tell because it was photographs. This dog weighs 20 kilos exactly. That is basically 42 to 43 pounds. He is a 10-month-old German Shepherd. He should weigh between 55 pounds and 70 pounds on a larger scale. He weighs 42 to 43 pounds. As soon as he came out of the vehicle, I realized that this dog needed help. Instead of arguing with the owner, I immediately performed the paperwork. They signed them over. Once the legal documentation was signed over, I started asking questions. My questions were not clearly answered. I'm not going to drop the name of the person. I know they were wrong. They know they were wrong. And I'm not here to start a war with anybody. This is more for awareness, and this is more for helping people help dogs in the future. Long story short, he's been here for 6 days. The very first day he wouldn't eat. I thought, okay, he's stressed out. He has diarrhea. It's probably from the stress. Second day, again, more diarrhea, blood, stress, vomiting. I gave him liquid protein drinks as well as unpasteurized dairy milk that I got from a local dairy farm. He managed to absorb that without throwing up. Third day, diarrhea all day, dehydrated. Keep in mind, it's Canada Day, long weekend. Veterinary clinics are closed. You're going to say, why didn't you take him to an emergency vet? I had no way of getting there. My vehicle caught fire. It's in the shop. Couldn't get there. I called a veterinarian that I know who's a colleague of mine. She told me what I need to do, and I did everything she advised. Let's speed up to yesterday and today. Yesterday morning, I came out to visit him. He's been sleeping outside in his kennel, which is a 24 by 24 area with a bed and a shelter, plenty of water and food. During the day, he would come in and I would cool him off. Yesterday morning, I came outside and he refused to get up. He defecated all over himself, and this told me right away that we are very rapidly in a decline. I cleaned them off, I washed them off, put some food in his belly, and he threw up. I gave him dairy milk, it stayed down. This told me one of three things: parvo, giardia, or an enzyme deficiency in their stomach that makes it very difficult for them to not only digest food, but to absorb nutrients through their intestinal stomach lining, or however that system works. Today, we took him to the vet. I called my vet, Armstrong Vet. I was very emotionally distraught, spending all night with him on his dog bed, keeping him company, strongly feeling that he was going to die. As much as I may be insensitive sometimes or an asshole, I could not allow myself to potentially walk out there in the morning and find a dead dog. That would literally send me over the edge emotionally. Spending all night with him, snuggling with him, singing to him, just letting him know that he's not alone. The veterinary opened and I called and I got a ride from a very dear friend of mine. And we took him to the vet. He was immediately checked for Giardia, Parvo, and came back negative. Parvo has an 85% kill-death ratio. And that's if you catch it in time. And even if you catch it in time, it still has a 90 to 85% kill-death ratio. This dog weighs 20 kilos, which is 43 pounds. A dog this age, a German Shepherd, 10-month-old, should weigh between 55 pounds to 75 pounds on the heaviest side. The fact that he weighs 42 to 43 pounds is extremely concerning. And if this was Parvo, there's no way, even with all the medical treatment that he would receive, there's no way that his body would be strong enough to overcome the disorder or the disease. I'm glad it's not Parvo. You have no idea the emotional attachment that I have for this dog in just 6 days. I've been a dog trainer since I was 8 years old, maybe not as a professional, but I've been attempting to train dogs at a very young age and went to school and studied and learned and mastered the craft of communicating with man's best friend that we clearly don't fucking deserve. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. It's really hard for me to come to terms that someone could do this to a dog. My dear friend took me to the vet with him, and she's a fucking angel, man. She's a fucking angel. I don't think I would have been able to handle it as well as I did without her there. And I love her for that, and I will always love her for that. We take him into the vet. They clear him for Parvo. They give him an injection to help settle his stomach. They give me antibiotics. We strongly feel that it is an autoimmune disorder as well as an enzyme absorption problem in the dog. Both of these things can be treated, and he could live a healthy, happy life with constant daily medication, which I am willing and more than happy to do for him. Fundamentally, there are so many wonderful people that have reached out to help this young pup, from the veterinary clinic, from the ladies that work there. And I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I've never felt more cared for and more loved by these individuals than I ever have in my life. My baby boy over here was dying literally in my arms, unable to get up, drink, eat for over 3 days. He's doing a lot better right now. We gave him his medication. He ate a bunch of his gruel over here. And basically what this enzyme problem is, they're unable to digest hard foods, and they're unable to digest different types of food. And when the food goes into their mouth, down their trachea, in their esophagus, and hits their stomach is unable to process the food and then be absorbed in the rest of the body, which then in turn makes the dog throw up violently, and then in turn makes them have diarrhea. Diarrhea and vomiting can kill a dog very quickly. This dog didn't get this sick in one day. This dog didn't get sick like this overnight or in a week. This is a constant level of consistent animal abuse and neglect. And it got to the point where the owner had enough and got rid of the dog. The owner has a lot of money. The owner owns a restaurant, drives a fancy car, goes skiing in Silver Star. This dog was purchased as a toy. This dog was not purchased for commitment. This dog was a victim of an impulse buy. I can tell you now that he is finally able to calm himself down, to let me pet him, to let me touch him, talk to him and sing to him for the last 5 days, and prove to him that I am not like anything he's ever encountered. And when I first saw him, he tried to bite me. And I fell in love with him right away. My good boy. Oh, yeah. My good boy. He comes across like a badass motherfucker. But he's really a sweetheart who was just scared and misunderstood. Who was scared and misunderstood. I was literally petrified. I'm just glad that I noticed inconsistencies in the post. I'm glad that I noticed inconsistencies in the answers that the owner was giving me. And I'm also grateful that I was able to listen to my gut intuition and say to myself, if I don't do something, someone else might do something with the right intentions, but may not have the ability, the space, the time, or the financial budget to give him exactly what he needs. And I'm not by far a rescue group. I'm not a shelter. I'm just a man who trains dogs, who understands that I love animals more than I love people. So if you're the type of person who's rescued a dog, or helped a dog, or adopted a dog, or sheltered a dog,